Moons are among the most intriguing celestial objects in our universe. They orbit planets that are often many times larger, and they play critical roles in planetary systems. But one fascinating question has intrigued scientists for centuries. Can a moon have its own moon? In other words, can there be moons of moons, or what some have creatively dubbed moons? Today, we'll explore this cosmic curiosity. To start, most planets in our solar system, and even exoplanets in distant star systems, have natural satellites. These satellites, or what we commonly call moons, are defined by NASA and other space agencies as celestial bodies that orbit a planet. Moons come in many forms. Some are rocky, some are icy, and others are a mix of both. For example, Earth's moon is primarily made of rock. Mars' moons, Phobos and Deimos, are similar in composition to rocky asteroids. Saturn's moons are mostly icy with rocky cores, and its largest moon, Titan, has a thick atmosphere and a surface made of frozen water and hydrocarbons. Uranus and Neptune's moons are largely composed of ice, while Pluto's largest moon, Charon, is rocky with an icy surface. But here's the real question. Can any of these moons have a moon of their own? Can a moon have a moon? The short answer is yes, but it's not as simple as it sounds. While it is physically possible for a moon to have a smaller satellite, or a submoon, maintaining such a system is incredibly difficult due to gravitational forces and orbital dynamics. This is because moons, just like planets, have a region around them called the Hill sphere. The Hill sphere is the area where the moon's gravity is strong enough to pull another object into orbit around it, overpowering the gravitational influence of the planet or sun. For example, let's analyze the Earth-Moon-Sun system. The Earth is a satellite of the Sun, while the Moon is a sub-satellite orbiting the Earth. The Moon orbits at a distance of around 384,000 kilometers, 238,855 miles, from Earth, well within Earth's Hill sphere, which has a radius of approximately 1.5 million kilometers, 932,000 miles. This means that within the sphere, Earth's gravitational pull dominates the Moon, keeping it in a stable orbit. If the Moon drifted outside of the sphere, it would instead orbit the Sun, just like other planets or asteroids. Now, could the Moon itself have a submoon? Yes, it's possible. The Moon has its own Hill sphere, which extends around 60,000 kilometers, about 1/6 the distance between the Earth and the Moon. This means that if there were a small object within this radius, it could theoretically orbit the Moon. But here's where things get tricky. Tidal forces would slowly destabilize the orbit of any submoon, causing it to either spiral into the Moon or get flung out of orbit over time. These tidal forces arise because of the Moon's synchronous rotation around Earth, meaning it shows the same face to Earth at all times, a result of the gravitational interaction between the two. Why don't we see moons of moons? Even though it's theoretically possible, there are no known natural submoons in our solar system. The main reason is the delicate balance required for a submoon to remain stable. The tidal forces exerted by the parent planet, in our case Earth, and the Moon itself make it difficult for a submoon to survive long-term. For example, any submoon of the Earth's moon would face a decaying orbit due to tidal friction, eventually crashing into the Moon or being ripped apart. This process would take thousands to millions of years, depending on the system, which is why we don't see long-lived submoons around natural moons in the solar system today. Artificial submoons. Interestingly, artificial satellites like those NASA has placed in lunar orbit can be thought of as temporary submoons. These man-made objects only remain in lunar orbit for a few years, a very short time compared to the geological timescales of celestial bodies. While they're technically submoons for their brief operational lives, they don't provide a long-term example of a naturally stable submoon system. NASA's planned Lunar Gateway, a space station intended to orbit the Moon, could also be considered an artificial submoon for as long as it remains in orbit. The Gateway will serve as a base for deep space exploration, demonstrating humanity's growing presence beyond Earth. Could exoplanets have submoons? Though no confirmed submoons have been observed yet, astronomers believe they may exist beyond our solar system. The best candidate so far is the exoplanet Kepler 1625b, which is thought to have a large exomoon. This moon could potentially host a submoon, although more research is needed to confirm its existence and characteristics. If exomoons can exist around giant planets like Kepler 1625b, it's possible that some of these moons could have enough mass and distance from their host planet to support submoons of their own. Potential submoon cases. There have been some interesting cases where submoons may have existed in the past. Saturn's moon Iapetus, for example, has an unusual equatorial ridge, leading some scientists to suggest that it may have once had a submoon that was eventually destroyed, leaving the ridge as a remnant. Similarly, Rhea, another of Saturn's moons, was once suspected of having a ring system, which could have been influenced by tiny shepherd moons, small moons that help keep planetary rings in place. Conclusion: why moons with moons are rare. So, can a moon have a moon? Yes, but it's extremely rare due to the complex gravitational and tidal dynamics at play. While there are no confirmed examples of natural submoons in our solar system, the possibility remains intriguing, especially as we continue to discover exoplanets and their moons. With ongoing research, we may one day uncover a system where a moon successfully hosts its own submoon. Until then, we can only imagine the fascinating dynamics of a moon orbiting a distant world. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more deep space explorations and cosmic mysteries.